Growing up, I was always the girl who wanted to play pretend school. The best part about playing pretend school was being the teacher. Ever since I was a little girl, I have always been sure about what career path I wanted to take when I got older, that being a teacher. During some of my required classroom hours, I had the chance to interview one of my mentor teachers, Anna Standifer, who is a kindergarten teacher at Prairie Elementary. Mrs. Standifer has been a kindergarten teacher for 2 years. Before becoming a teacher, she was a para at the school for 5 years. During the interview, I learned about the changes in kindergarten classrooms, both the best and most difficult parts about being a teacher, expectations the school has, and also advice that she would have for a new teacher. For starters, the biggest change that Mrs. Standifer has seen in the kindergarten classrooms is not only the students' knowledge about technology, but also the use of technology in classrooms. And in many schools, students either have their own computers or tablets that the school provides for them. In Mrs. Standifer's classroom, each student has their own iPad. Each teacher is able to download different educational apps on their students' iPads that they want them to use. Being a teacher comes with many positive things, but it can also be difficult at times. When I asked Mrs. Standifer what the best part of her job was, she told me it was introducing students to new things. Being able to introduce students to new things and see their face when they understand it is one of the best feelings that a teacher will have. Every teacher's goal is to show students new things to help them enjoy school. The most difficult part of teaching such a young age is trying to keep them engaged. At the kindergarten age, this is most students' first time being in school all day, which can be an adjustment in itself. But at the kindergarten level, students also tend to have a lot of energy. At times, it can be a challenge to keep them focused on one task. Adding themes or things that interest students will help to keep them engaged in each lesson. Many schools have school or district expectations that teachers deal with. These expectations can be something that they want teachers to focus and spend more time on. One expectation that Mrs. Standifer faces is making sure that students get the most out of their reading time. One way she deals with this expectation is making sure that she adds the different expectations into the schedule. I also asked Mrs. Standifer if she was free to teach any way she wanted, if there was anything she would do differently. She told me if she was free to teach any way she wanted, she would add in more themes. She would also add in more time for both reading and math. Lastly, I asked Mrs. Standifer what advice she would have for a new teacher. Without hesitation, she told me not to compare yourself to veteran teachers. Not only that, but not to compare your teaching skills to other teachers. The first year can be difficult for new teachers. It is important to remember that just because you are doing something different from other teachers in the school does not mean that you are doing something wrong. Although before this interview, I already knew what career path I was going to go down, this interview just reassured me that I picked the right path. Even though going into a field of education can be difficult by trying to keep children interested, the high expectations teachers are held to, and the many changes in technology that affect the classroom are all offset by the reward of introducing new things to students, witnessing when they understand what you are teaching them.